Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. What's up, y'all? It has been more than a minute since I've made a video, and I think I've needed the time away to grow in ways which will make me a better me and help me to be there for you better than before. A lot of my videos that I started with were about my herpes journey and basically coming out about it, because the stigma of having herpes is actually a lot more terrifying than the actuality of living with the HSV, virus. It's almost unrelated, like how intense the stigma is and how severe the taboo around talking about sex is. But needless to say, it's out now and I've really felt so much more calm and confident and compassionate toward myself in revealing all of me honestly to my family, to my friends, and now even just to people that I meet who I feel deserve to meet somebody and know that they have herpes and have, when the wind is blowing, that means it's a good thing. It's like I'm on track. Meet somebody that they know has herpes, because there are so few people who talk about it. And I even know someone whose daughter's best friend was like isolating herself from her friend and from everybody because she had herpes. And she finally broke down and was like, this is what's going on with me. This is why I've been pulling away, because I've been terrified. And girl, I know how you felt. I still know how you feel, because I'm still not necessarily terrified about actually finding a partner, not just like a sexual partner, but like a partner, like a romantic love interest, who will be there through the ups and downs in a supportive way and in an understanding way. And not a lot of people understand what those who are stigmatized go through. So I'm not even just talking about herpes anymore. I'm talking about all things that are difficult to talk about, that people hide about themselves because it's not polite society type of shit to talk about, like it feels as though things to do with religion, things to do with politics, things to do with sex, all the things that we've been told not to bring up in polite society are the things that we should know how to talk about, and we should have been practicing for a long time so that we can do it in a healthy way and in a constructive way, rather than in a totally undiplomatic way where we cannot see other people's sides because we're so entrenched in our own from having never discussed it and having exposure to other points of view. So my hope in moving forward with these videos is to expose you to other points of view and hopefully to give you insight into how to have compassion for yourself, for others, and it's a good thing when the wind's blowing, and to really learn about the psychology, the sociology, and the linguistical standpoint behind the features of society that we encounter in this day and age. So with that being said, I have been dealing with Venus in retrograde in such thank you, in such, like, snapping me out of it. Literally, that fly had to come by to snap me the fuck out of it, because I was like, woo, where do I start? In such, like, painfully obvious ways. Do you feel that way as well? Let me know in the comments how you've been feeling about this Venus in retrograde, because she really has taken us into an uncomfortable place where it's like all of the things that we internally knew, because she's sitting in Scorpio right now, which she's not really comfortable with, and it's kind of like that internal battle going on. Scorpio is the sign of people who really internalize and really take things within and then just like sit in it, like really sit in it, and not in the healthiest way either. And she's exposing that part of all of us to ourselves right now, because there are a lot of things that we internalize for the purpose of not being mannerless or impolite in, polite society. We have a lot of things on our minds that we are not supposed to talk about, lots of quotation marks, because it makes other people uncomfortable. And this is especially with the people in relationships that are closest to us. This is members of our family, this is besties, this is siblings, this is who are members of our family, but I'm thinking of like parents first, siblings then. Basically, whoever is close to you or even has mentored you throughout your life, in this role where you feel like you're always going to have a connection with this person and you know that they came into your life for a reason. There are things we find about the people who give us a lot of benefit and add a lot of value to our lives. There are things that we find out about them as we go that let us know they're not people we want to be around 100% of the time, because they might have a way of communicating, or they might have facial expressions that communicate to you that they don't always agree with you, their values don't always align, and their way of behaving or their habits that they have and their patterns aren't ones that you're familiar with or ones that maybe you're comfortable with. And I'm speaking specifically about those who are really close to you. And it's hard when we have kind of like the friend of a friend who wouldn't go and talk to her best friend about something awful that she was experiencing. We might set up boundaries and barriers between ourselves and others based on previous conversations, based on past feelings that we haven't sorted through or dealt with. And I would really like to talk more about those feelings and dealing with those feelings in isolation, and what handling your own personal feelings and emotions that arise in isolation does for you. Now, I've been so happy to create content that I can share with the whole world, and it's something that is accessible to everyone. And also, as a content creator, someone who makes a living off of sharing ideas with others and doing the research for you. So when you come to me and we hang out in this space, you get exactly what you need to know and what you want to hear in a short period of time, like in this comfortable, loving space. So because of that, I need sustainment. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm going to set my boundaries because I feel like we're close. I feel like we've got a good thing going on. And I would love to come back into this space and share more and more and more and be sharing every single week. I also know that it takes time to do editing. It takes time to process things. It takes time to learn myself how to get this information to you so that it's digestible. And all of the work that goes into it beforehand, before I hit this record button, is pretty intense and pretty in-depth. So I would love for you to join me on my Patreon page. The link for my Patreon page is below, and the lowest possible tier for having access to the rest of this video and other videos that I'll be creating in the future is $1. So for $1 a month, that's $12 in a year, you can help me sustain this kind of loving and sharing of information so that we can keep this good thing going. So this is where I'm going to end this video. I love you. If you're watching on YouTube, have a beautiful day. You deserve all the love you desire. And I hope that you share your feelings with others because they're worthy of being heard.